you had a very critical parent, this message is for you. I'm channeling this message for all of us because I had a very critical, nitpicky parent. And that voice is still very much in my head every time I make a mistake, every time I'm about to try something new. Every time I realize that there's an opportunity for me to expand and improve my skills, I hear that voice in my head. And it's telling me I'm not enough. I can never do enough. I can never be enough. I can never say enough. And it doesn't matter how hard I try. It will never be enough. And I am now realizing at this point in my life, at this point in my healing journey, that voice isn't even real. It's just a story. It's just a seed of thought, a seed of fear that was implanted during my formative years by somebody who didn't believe in themselves either. In fact, this negative narrative has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And not just in my family, but so many of us have that voice inside our heads. And so here's a message for all of us now. You don't have to be afraid anymore. Now is the time to start trusting yourself. Now is the time to start believing in your abilities. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. It doesn't mean you're going to be without flaws. You're human. There's so much beauty in the flaws and the imperfection because it's within those things, those situations and circumstances that we're given an opportunity to learn and grow. If we choose to use them as tools for learning and growth and not self-admonishment, self-abuse, then how many of us have just been whipping ourselves mercilessly for the tiniest little mistake or flaw that is not even all that important? And most of them are not. Most of these mistakes and flaws are not critical. They're not life-threatening. A lot of the times they're just aesthetic. Maybe it's a miscommunication. It's all fixable. It's all figure-outable. And as I felt this coming up for me, and I really felt it in my solar plexus, I felt a restriction there, a tightening up. And do you know how hard it is to let creativity flow when you feel like this inside? Like if you take a hose and you squeeze it or you bend it in half, water is not coming through that sucker. And if it does, it's just going to be little driplets. It's not like drinking from the fire hose. And so I'm healing this in me. And I asked myself, oh my gosh, where is this fear coming from? Because it did feel a little life-threatening. It did feel a little bit like my security was on the line. So I traced that back. I traced it back to childhood when all of this began, when I really didn't feel secure. And I did feel scared for my life. As a child, afraid for my safety. There are various reasons for that. And now I realize as an adult, this fear is coming from a fear that I'm going to lose security. Well, if I make this mistake, well, if I'm not perfect, well, if I'm not good enough, then the source where the money is coming may suddenly dry up because it'll decide to go to someplace else, to some other person who is more worthy, to some other person who is more perfect and polished and put together and doesn't make mistakes. And then I had to stop myself when all of this was coming up. I allowed it to come through. It's great to figure out what these stories are so that we can get to the root of it, so that we can change it. Because here's the thing, God is my source. God is my source. My job, my clients, they are not my source. They are vehicles through which God, my source, provides for me. They are not the source. They're just an extension of source, and anyone could be. It's not limited to just them. So this is the message that I'm bringing through for all of us today. So many times when we get caught up in fear of not being good enough, it really can be traced back to the fear that we're not going to have enough. We're not going to have enough because we aren't enough. We aren't enough to earn it. We aren't enough to sustain it once we have it. And you are. I am. You are. And there's nothing we have to do, and there's nothing we have to prove. We're enough simply by being alive right now, by being on this planet. That makes us enough. And I know that people who fall prey to this negative programming are people who really want to grow and be better, to be the very best they can be. And that's such a beautiful quality. But don't forget to appreciate and love yourself right where you're at right now, because if you haven't heard this today, you are doing a wonderful job. And I'm proud of you. And I love you. Thanks for tuning in today. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and stick around for more videos like this. I'd like to meet you. Let's connect in the comments. How did this resonate for you today? Do you have anything else you would like to share? And if there are any questions that you want to ask, or any other videos that you'd like to see in the future, drop those down below as well. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, bye everybody.